Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? Bueno, vamos a ver cómo está esta previa del parche, chicos.
Hey everyone, Alan here from the Wild Rift team. I was off spending my wild cause, but now I'm all out, so I'm excited to be back and kick off this patch preview. First, a quick heads up. The new year brings new patch numbers, so we're dropping that boring old 3 and bringing out a shiny new 4.
Okay, a ver.
That being said, our content cadence isn't based on an annual cycle, so that new number isn't tied to huge changes. That's because any patch for Wild Rift can bring pretty major updates, not just the one in January. We changed a huge aspect of the game a few patches ago with Elemental Rift, and we have some adjustments to this patch that are sure to shift the meta.
Claro.
In short, don't get anchored on that 4.0. We're going to bring gameplay changes when they're ready. Anyway, this patch, we're looking forward to some excitable champions, improvements for yet another role, and even more things to test in the jungle. Of course, we'll also go over our next big event and the skins you can look forward to.
Bueno, muestra.
Rising Spark.
Bien, Rising Spark se va a llamar el parche.
Hey everyone, it's Maddie, Champions Product Lead on Wild Rift. We thought our roster needed more mischief, glitter, and world-warping arcane energy. With all that in mind, Zoe, the aspect of Twilight, is ready to reshape the reality of mid lane, or support for extra chaos. Zoe is the first mage, who wants to steal spells, snipe enemies, and cause as much trouble as possible with portals. Her first ability, Paddle Star, throws a missile that can be redirected in flight. The farther it travels, the more damage it deals. So when tap casting, at first the missile will fly away from your enemy. Then, recast the ability to sling it back towards them. This works super well with her ultimate, Portal Jump, which allows Zoe to blink to a new position and then blink back. This ult has a low cooldown, so get creative with Paddle Stars to delete your enemies from existence. With her
Se ve bonita en game,
selfie,
se ve muy bonita.
Zoe can steal enemy spells and enchantments on cast, which will appear on the ground for her to pick up. They'll also drop when your team last hits a minion that's holding a balloon. She can only hold one stolen cast at a time, so use them or lose them. Last but not least, Zoe's third ability launches a bubble that puts an enemy to sleep after a delay. Attacking them will deal double damage up to a cap, so snipe your snoozing foes with a long-range Paddle Star for maximum effect. If you love rubbing salt in the wounds of your mid-lane enemies, give Zoe a try. She's super random, and I hope she wins.
No entendí lo de la segunda, no entendí eso.
To Z, bring the lightning
Bueno,
to Zeri, the spark is on, electrifying the dragon lane. Like most marksmen, the majority of Zeri's damage comes from attacking enemies. But her attack, Burst Fire, works a little differently than you might expect. When you tap the attack button as Zeri, you'll fire in a direction and damage the first enemy hit, just like a skill shot ability. So be sure to aim as you go. Zeri passively gains movement speed whenever she gets a shield, and she also has some tools to slow her opponents down. Her first ability, Electrocute, zaps an enemy with a slow. And her second ability, Ultra Shock Laser, fires a beam that damages and slows the first target hit. If the beam hits a wall, it'll extend its range and fire through it, applying its effects in an area. Zeri's third ability, Spark Surge, is her tool for great escapes. Cast it to dash forward and empower your next attacks. If Zeri dashes to a wall,
potencia
she'll
sus
all the
ataques.
way over it. Use her ultimate, Lightning Crash, to shock nearby enemies and gain stacks of overcharge for each champion hit. While overcharged, Zeri gains movement speed, attack speed, and bonus damage. Her attack is faster and chains to nearby enemies, and she'll extend this effect with takedowns. As you can see, Zeri is all about attacking fast and moving fast. Pick her up, and you'll be zipping and zapping across the rift.
Me parece que Zeri va a estar rota.
Champions
Me parece.
Spark Patch. We've got a healthy dose of positivity with these two, so I hope they'll bring a smile to your face. Go forth and tilt your opponents with cheerfulness and tons of damage. And now, I'll hand it over to David for even more updates.
Hi friends, I'm David.
Ok, ya, vamos a ver qué se viene.
Sparkle our way to the gameplay changes for this patch. The 3-act gameplay structure is super important for Wild Rift, where players feel the ramp up from early to mid and into late game. Looking over the last few patches, we feel there's room for improvement for the late stages of the game. The focus here is to increase the opportunities for comebacks
Ah, lo del inhibidor, ¿no?
Of Wild Rift.
Claro.
First, we're adding inhibitor respawns. So once an inhibitor is destroyed, it'll come back again after a little while.
Esto ya lo había visto, sí.
The game won't feel like it is completely over if you lose an inhibitor early. And you'll be able to focus more on facing off against the enemy team and less on their minions. Continuing with the theme of climactic game ends, we're adding a mechanic that limits turtling. Once you reach the super late,
Esto lo había visto,
begin to
sí.
burn and eventually
Que
collapse.
se iban a quemar las torres y se iban a caer
If you don't
solas.
expect this effect to trigger frequently, we want you to feel the urgency of pushing your advantage or coming back from your disadvantages. Every patch, we look to make improvements to specific roles. Last patch was all about the jungle.
Ajá, sí,
The
sobre la
Rising
jungla.
Spark patch, we're looking to improve the tank experience.
¡Wow!
And it's time to show
¡Por
you
fin!
our
La
update.
gente va a querer usar. Chicos, se me desconectó la parte desde el mundo. Bueno, sí, es que acá no hay mucho más. Si quieren lo retrocedemos un poquito para que se den cuenta. Acá está. O sea, no... Que van a mejorar los tanques y bueno, vamos a ver las nuevas mejoras que se vienen, ¿no? Porque realmente los tanques no se estaban viendo mucho.
Their effects are often subtle, so it's difficult for you and your teammates to notice when you're using them well. So first, we're getting some new and improved Shopkeeper stock for you. Right now, Ixali's Seajar and Demon's Plate are great first picks for tank supports.
Ok,
They're mostly
sí.
benefiting players who want to roam all around the map. If you're more of an aggressive tank support who wants to get ahead through laning, Dawn Shroud is now your item of choice. When you immobilize a champion, Dawn Shroud's passive will damage and reveal nearby enemy champions.
Mira.
This effect will also trigger if you are immobilized. Next, we're
Lo que hace es más daño, ¿no? A ver, lo retrocedemos un poquito.
through laning, Dawn Shroud is now your item of choice. When you immobilize a champion, Dawn Shroud's passive will damage and reveal nearby enemy champions. This effect will also trigger if you are immobilized. Next, we're reworking some other tank items to make their powers more clear and easier to appreciate. Random's Omen is getting a new passive.
Nueva pasiva.
By a critical strike, you'll now gain stacks. Attacking
Ganas.
the champion will consume the stacks and heal based on the damage you took. This
Okay.
is placing one of the items
Mira.
which reduce damage from all critical strikes. Starting this patch, you'll need to attack to make full use of the damage reduction instead of passively gaining it, which will reward good decision making as a tank player. Frozen Heart's effect is also changing. Now,
Va a cambiar.
basic attacks and spells will apply stacks to your target. They will also gain stacks from attacking or hitting you or your allies with spells. Each stack will slow your enemy's attack speed up to a cap. We hope that with a stacking debuff, instead of an effect with constant uptime, Frozen Heart's impact will be more noticeable overall. Outside of that, we're working on more tanky details that we'll share with you in an upcoming issue of Wild Rift News.
Ok, por ahora van a cambiar esos tres. Van a cambiar esos tres, pero no... habría que ver bien qué va a hacer cada uno, porque ahí yo entendí un poquito. Van a agregar un nuevo ítem, van a cambiar la pasiva el ítem de los críticos, que ahorita no me acuerdo cómo es que se llama, y el corazón de hielo lo van a cambiar. Así que bueno, vamos a ver cómo se va a poner. Ojalá la gente ya se anime a usar más tanques, porque es lo que hace falta.
You should expect new improvements for different roles across future patches as we look to continuously improve the general game health. For the Rising Spark patch, we're bringing back a game mode we all know and love. All random, ultra rapid fire mode is making its triumphant return to the Rift. Queue up and play a completely random champion with super speedy spells. We're also using
Bien, regresa Urf.
In this patch, we're introducing Execute Smite, just for ARF matches. If you're jungling, you'll choose Smite for your loadout as usual, but Smite's effect won't be an active that you press. It will now be a passive instead. When you damage a monster and cause its health to fall below Smite's total damage, the spell will automatically trigger, effectively smiting the camp for you. There's no cooldown for this effect, so don't worry about accidentally wasting Smite at blue buff when you meant to use it at Dragon. There's plenty of Execute Smites to go around. We know this sounds pretty wild, and the final version of the Execute Smite might end up being a little different, depending on where our playtests land. But we'll have more exact details for you in the patch notes. So
claro,
if
sí,
you
sí,
are
obvio.
playing jungle main, keep an eye out and let us know.
Sí, porque cuando se iba a Urf, nadie iba a jungla. O sea, nadie le gustaba ir jungla porque era como perder ahí la utilidad.
As always, we're looking to improve the Wild Rift experience, both in and out of the game. So here's a few quality life updates we got in the Rising Spark patch. ARM titles have been around for a little while now. We'll be adding some sub-tiers to some of those titles, so that it's easier to track your climb. If you're a master of the Abyss, we're excited to give you some new milestones to show off. So you think you're the best mid laner out of your friend list? Well, this patch, you can prove it. We're adding a role leaderboard, where you'll be able to compare your role score with your friends. You'll also be able to see the top players for each role in your region. The best of the best will receive a special title. We're also adjusting how role scores work as a whole. At the start of a new rank season, your role scores will be reset, but you'll gain a boost for role scores gained in the future based on your performance past season. So you can try and reach even greater heights in your quest for lane dominance.
Okay.
Now, I'll pass it back to Alan to round out the rest of this patch preview.
Ranked Season 8 is here, and glorious Crimson Nami is
Ajá,
ranked games to claim her from the season.
Ay, Dios, ¿qué es eso? Ay, no puede ser.
And don't forget, you can pick up her weapon augment upgrade from the ranked store. Best of luck on the ladder, and may your victory points rise like the tide.
Ay, no, está horrible esa skin.
A new masked villain is ready to take the city by a storm.
Ajá.
Any
Esto ya se había hablado, ¿no?
hands on. Heroes beware, supervillain Graves is ready to lie.
Ajá, que iba a ser Graves. Ajá.
End of Wild Pass Season 8. And look cool while doing it.
Ay, pero por favor. Dios mío, ¿cómo pueden hacer una skin tan maravillosa como la Jean y después traen esto? O sea, no sé ustedes, pero a mí no me gusta.
From the Wild Pass Emporium before
Así como que con la otra transformación se ve un poquito más bonito, pero la anterior es como, ay, Dios mío.
away.
No estaba tan bonita.
This patch is bringing plenty of good luck and festivities. Lunar New Year is coming, and we've got some surprises in store for our event.
A ver.
Get ready to explore a world inspired by paper cutting art, where you'll get to know a few different champions and help them enjoy the celebration. The new year is a busy time, so you have to group up to grab everything you need, but that's all we can say for now. Just make sure you're ready to cook up some fun.
Ok,
We're
bien.
also bringing back a futuristic theme that many of you will recognize.
Más skin de proyecto.
Punk energy is your speed. Project Surge is ready to initiate in patch 4.0. Your directive is clear, so prepare for new skins and
Ajá. Ah, mira, nuevas skins de proyecto. Zeri, Lucian, G, Renekton.
new rewards when this event commences.
Bien. Los splash arts se ven bonitos.
Been waiting for. It's time for a look at our skins coming this patch. Whether you're an attentive student or a bit of a cut-up, we're sure there's something in this montage for you.
¡Oh! ¡Bate a la academia! A mí estas skins me gustan. ¡Ah, está bonita! La de León está bonita. Shumi. A ver. Oigan, ¿esta de Bane? Ah, Bane. Te luce, Bane. Está bonita. Ay, de Serafín. Está bonita. O sea, estas están bonitas. A ver. Gwen. Ok, esta también está muy bonita. Ajá, Soy. No me gusta tanto, pero no está fea, pues. De Camille. No está fea, chicos. La verdad es que no está fea, pero no sé. Igual está bonita. Para hacer una de las skins de Camille, está bonita. No sé qué pensar. No sé qué pensar. Tengo como que sentimientos encontrados. No sé. Como que no me gusta tanto. No está fea. O sea. Wow, uy, la de G está genial. Está buenísima. Esta de Zeri también está muy bonita.
Thanks for joining us in this patch preview. Let us know how these gameplay changes feel, especially for the tank players out there. Plus, we hope you'll enjoy our newest zippy, zany champions. Just watch out where you put those portals, okay?
Sneaky, sneaky.
That's all for now, and I'll see you on the Rift in the Rising Spark update.
Ok. Bien, bien, bien. La verdad es que ya todas las cosas ya se habían dicho antes, chicos. Todo se liqueó. Todo se liqueó. Yo sí había escuchado que a veces se iban a venir esas skins del evento lunar. Las de proyecto sí no sabía, así que las de proyecto me tomó por sorpresa totalmente. La de Nami está horrible, por Dios. La de Nami está horrible. ¿Qué es eso? No, y la de Graves, super villano. No puede ser, no puede ser que me traigas allí en super colorido, super wow. Tirando ahí brillitos y me traes a Graves ahí todo insípido, todo negro. O sea, no puede ser. Colocarle más color ahí, más sabrosura a la cosa, pero no sé, no me gustaron. La skin de Graves esa de supervillano y la de Nami está horrible, o sea. Se acabó con el presupuesto con la de Jin. ¿A ustedes les gustó la de Nami? A ver, ya va. No sé, ustedes que tal vez les gusta Vaporio, entonces por eso les gustó la de Nami. No, pero es que miren esto. A ver, yo dije...
Aims to claim her from the Season Rewards tab. And don't forget, you can pick up her weapon augment upgrade from the rank...
A ver, el arma cuando le cambia está bonita. Pero por Dios, quítale el casquito. Yo creo que es el casco el que le quita como que... Capaz que la skin se puede mejorar si le quitan el fucking casco a la Nami. Pero no. O sea, no. Esto... No me gustó para nada. Pero la verdad es que no, yo pensé que iban a mostrar más cositas. La verdad es que la previa del parche estuvo súper meh. O sea, es como que bueno, 13 minutos, vamos a cambiar... A ver, chicos, o sea, yo la verdad esto se los tengo que decir sinceramente. Yo estas cosas, obviamente yo las veo antes en un tweet o en un título de un video de YouTube. Y yo digo, mira, va a salir esto. Pero no entro a detallarlo o a buscarlo más a profundidad. Pero sí ya sabía que estas cosas eran las que se venían un meta de tanques. Bueno, que soy Zeri, esos ya se habían liqueado hace rato. Las skins estas del evento lunar también ya se habían liqueado. Las de proyecto sí no, las de proyecto me tomaron totalmente desprevenida. ¿Y qué otra cosa? No, la verdad es que pierde todo el hype. Toda la emoción que tú puedes tener por la previa del parche carece de sentido cuando ya tú sabes ya todo lo que se liqueó. Y el problema es que a veces que esto pasa mucho en el mundo gaming, ¿no? Que se liquean las cosas, pero el problema es que acá se liquean las cosas y terminan siendo ciertas. No es como que, bueno, se liqueó esto, ¿será que es verdad? No, uno ya con tantas veces que se han liqueado cosas y las han terminado confirmando, es como que, bueno, pues eso es lo que va a salir, la verdad. Y bueno, es como que no queda mucho más, la verdad, pierde todo el hype. Es como que ya no sé si vale la pena ver las previas del parche. Si acaso solo por hacer contenido, pero no mucho más. Es una pena, la verdad es una pena porque esto mata un poco la presentación de las cosas nuevas que vienen en el juego. Lo mata todo el hype que uno tenga. Pero bueno, es lo que hay, ¿no? Wild Rift, no me extrañaría. No me extrañaría.